What is up, boys? It is YaroWins, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you some very overpowered 4-4-2 custom tactics and instructions. Now in this guide I'm going to basically speak to you guys about the 4-4-2 formation, why it's so overpowered and effective in the current post-patch gameplay, and yeah guys, let's just get straight into it. Now what I've noticed in terms of defending in the latest patch and the latest gameplay, I mean, first off, I'll say it's very annoying currently to play against a lot of these opponents because the effectiveness of AI defending and like automatic blocking and things like that has just gone through the roof. It's just terrible right now, and I've sort of changed my sort of game style and the way I defend because of that. So yeah, in terms of that, I found that having a lower depth is more effective than obviously the high press, sort of high line that I've spoken about in the past. I think the gameplay is changing. I think it's definitely a lot worse than it has been, but I believe that now, I was using 7 depth before, but I think dropping that down to around 4 is more effective and it's less risky, and you will probably have more of a comfortable time really of defending, and you won't be getting caught in behind as often, which is very effective in terms of the attacking because counterattacks and through balls in behind are very effective. So yeah, having quite a deep line will be more effective than playing a high line. In terms of the width in this formation, because it's very balanced in itself, I don't think you should change the width too much. Just having it on 5 bars will give you the best of both worlds, so you'll defend adequately in the middle and also the flanks. Now, although you're playing quite a deep line, I still would say have pressure on heavy touch, because when the opportunity arises, I think pressuring your opponent is always a good option. You don't want to basically give the opponent too much time and space on the ball. You want them to potentially make mistakes and for you to win the ball back easier. So yeah, in terms of the defensive style, as I've said in my previous formation guides, the press on heavy touch I think is still the best option. Now, in terms of the offensive style, again, these two don't really change, and I still would say that it's very effective, the long ball tactic. Now, if you guys obviously don't know to this point, long ball doesn't mean you're going to be playing sort of lob through balls or long passes. It just relates to your strikers, your attackers running in behind, basically. That's another terminology for it, and I guess that explains it a bit more. Rather than long ball, it just means getting behind. So yeah, I think for the type of strikers, the type of attackers that most of us use, which is very fast players with good attack positioning, especially playing a counter-attacking style, I think the long ball is still the best option. And yeah, in terms of the offensive width, again, it's pretty similar to the defensive style and the defensive width. Because the 4-4-2 is very balanced, I think just having that on a balanced 5 bars is the best option to basically get the best options, and I guess the most balanced options in terms of having support on the wings and through the middle. Now, players in box, again, I personally would suggest being quite aggressive with this and having more players getting forward. So I have it on 6 bars, but again, this will really depend on how risky you want to play, how much attacking support you feel that you need. But I think on the 6 bars, it gives me a good balance of not overcommitting, but having a lot of options when I do attack. Corners and free kicks, again, not very important, but it will depend solely on you. If you feel that you're good at basically free kicks or set pieces, or you win a lot of free kicks around sort of the edge of the box, then obviously maybe bring that up. Or if you enjoy scoring or attacking from corners, if you have those kind of players, aerial threats, then have that a bit higher as well. Now we get onto the actual instructions of this formation. Now, what I would suggest is for your strikers, like as if I'm playing and the way I'm using it personally, I have one very fast striker and one sort of central target man type striker. So my fast striker is Iñaki Williams. For him, in terms of support runs, because he's more mobile, more fast, Then Lewandowski, I have him on balance width. So sometimes he can sort of drag defenders out of position. He's not always static in one position. And he can make some really good runs and get into good positions. Now, in terms of the attacking runs, getting behind, obviously utilising that pace, utilising the attacking positioning, and that falls in line with the long ball tactic. Stay forward as well for defensive support, and the second striker, the target man type striker, stay central, mixed attack, stay forward. So that gives me basically differing options. So, for example, Williams will run in behind, Lewandowski might be the physical player, so he might win some air balls and things like that. Now, in terms of the left midfielder, for defensive support, I would suggest the basic defensive support, so pretty much default on that. However, I would like him to cut inside, get in behind, get into the box, and that relates also to the opposite side. It's the same instructions, because obviously the right mid is left footed, the left mid is right footed, and yeah, I personally like cutting inside, and especially if you're bringing in those wingers and utilising the wide threat, you want them obviously to get onto their strong foot and then obviously do some finesse shots, for example, or crosses. Now for both central midfielders, stay back while attacking, balance crossing runs, cover centre, and finally with the fullbacks, both of them to stay back while attacking. So yeah guys, those are the instructions, that is the formation. As always, let's see some actual gameplay clips to see how effective this formation really is. So guys, as usual, we get into the clips and we basically see how effective this formation is in the attacking and defensive sense. So in this first clip, you're going to see the impact of the pressure and having the two strikers. So I put the basically defenders under huge pressure. I win the ball back very high up the pitch, sort of around the opposition box. I managed to steal the ball and then obviously just put it into the box again. And this also shows the effectiveness of having sort of a left-footed player coming in from the right on his stronger foot, and also coming infield, cutting inside. Now again, in this clip you see the effectiveness once again of the high press or the press on heavy touch tactic. I'm basically just swarming around the defenders, and I actually forced the goalkeeper to make an error and get a very important goal in extra time, pretty much to do with the fact that I'm just pressing so hard, I'm getting so high up, and it is forcing opponents to essentially basically make mistakes. Now in this particular clip, you look at the transitional element of this formation, obviously having the two box-to-box central midfielders. I win the ball back, drive it forward, then I see some space, and obviously, as I was mentioning before, with Williams being the sort of the pacey striker that gets in behind, he gets in there, pushes the ball forward, gets the one-on-one and does the great finish. Now again, with these sort of quick passes, the balanced nature of the formation, you always have a lot of options, I feel, and yeah, if you lose the ball, again, the pressure does help you win it back quickly. Then once again, you're basically forcing the opponent to really defend very deep and make errors. And once again, I actually forced an error from the final defender and sort of the goalkeeper, and I managed to force it in basically on the line. Now on this particular clip, you see the effectiveness of the out wide element of the wide players. Again, I get it out there, and for the third time actually, because I'm basically pushing so high and I have so many players attacking, obviously the two strikers and obviously the wingers coming in, I once again force the goalkeeper to make an error, steal the ball and get that easy goal. Now in this particular clip again, you see the run off the ball of my left midfielder, which is basically acting as a distraction, and then Lewandowski as the striker actually gets the space, gets that run through with the through ball, and obviously a great chip finish. Now in this clip you can see on the defensive side, so the effectiveness of having the 3 depth. You're not going to be basically leaving any spaces in behind. Even if you're getting pressed, you always have that support, and it isn't sort of too deep, but with this current patch and the gameplay and how the defending is, it is effective to be sort of more deep, I guess, because I mean, I personally hate it, but this sort of AI defending does position your players and does give you some auto blocks and things like that. And yeah, so I basically just defend well, and then I get straight away the chance to break away and once again utilize the pace and the running in behind with the long ball tactic, as I mentioned, which actually means just getting behind. And that's another great goal for Williams. And again, this is the effectiveness of having two strikers. You can always play those 1-2s. In this particular one, obviously Lewandowski gets it, but it's that important partnership, because if you have two strikers that can do different things, so for example, one of them will be the more pacey one, the other will be obviously the physical one that will win the ball, so from goal kicks or long balls forward, you can head it, and obviously with the attack positioning, he also can get through for those one-on-ones. Now again, this particular match was just goal fest and really destroying the opponent with the counter-attacks. Again, very, very similar to the previous goal. It's a great partnership between Williams and Lewandowski. Again, those 1-2s, especially against players that aren't so comfortable with defending, you can always get these effective 1-2s getting through. And yeah, with through balls, with good attack positioning on your strikers, you're going to get so many chances. And yeah, it was just basically just repeating the same thing over and over. But in this case, utilizing the left midfielder, coming in, obviously cutting inside, getting into the box. And yeah, the two strikers in this case worked as distractions for Hazard to have all that space on the left hand side. And yeah, that is another effective point of this formation. Now, yeah, in this match, I don't know, everything I was shooting was going in. So this doesn't really, I guess, show the formation particularly specifically. But yeah, I guess it does show that the fact that you can get a lot of goals from your left and right midfielder. And yeah, again, just you can see this pressure again, which is just so effective. And the fact that when you do have the pressure, you have a lot of options, so you don't have just one striker, you have two strikers up there. It's going to cause havoc for defenses. And yeah guys, that's pretty much it for this formation. Hopefully I've explained it well. I've showed with the clips why the 4-4-2 is a good option, and yeah, I would recommend it right now for the current patch gameplay. So yeah guys, if you enjoyed this video, as always, drop a like, drop a comment with any suggestions, any questions, and subscribe if you haven't yet. And as always guys, I'll see you very soon, and peace.